to the 14th meeting of Old Dominion University Student Government Association. Today is Tuesday, January the 24th, and the time is 3:15. Today we have the adoption of the agenda, followed by the adoption of the previous minutes, and then I'll talk about how we met formally. For new business, we have Senate Bill number 8, the reserve seat bylaw amendment. Senate Bill number 11, the Internal Affairs Ad Hoc Committee. Senate Bill number 12, the Elections Commission, followed by Resolution number 5, the Executive Resolution, Dominion Rock. Then we'll have our President and Vice President's report. Then we'll have our Treasurer's report. Then our Advisor's report, followed by our Senate Committee reports. Then we'll have public comments and announcements, followed by adjournment. Is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Roscoe.
Mr. Speaker, I move to make a friendly amendment. I would like to add old business after quorum, and underneath of that add Senate Bill 6 Committee Chair Bylaw Amendment, and then Resolution 4 Senate Expansion Bill.
There's a motion on the floor to friendly amend the agenda to add old business. And underneath old business to add Senate Bill number 6, the Committee Chair Bylaw Amendment, and Resolution number 4, the Senate Expansion Bill. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is no opposition, the Madam Chief of Staff, could you please make that present? Are there any other motions at this time? Yes, Senator Bernard.
I move to approve the agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Since there is a second, the agenda is now approved. Moving on to our next order of business. Adoption of the previous minutes. The previous minutes were sent out in advance, so they will not be read aloud. Madam Chief of Staff, could you please bring up the previous minutes? Are there any questions regarding the previous minutes? Since there are no questions regarding the previous minutes will now be approved. Today, we met quorum at 18. For old business, we have Senate Bill number 6, the Committee Chair Bylaw Amendment. The reason that this bill is officially back on our floor, Rachel had decided to veto this bill, and the reason behind that was she chose to veto this because she believes that it needs to be edited before it can go into effect. She says, I will support this bill once it has been sent back to committee for revisions. With that being said, now that this bill has been vetoed, once it goes back to committee, if that's what you guys decide to do, to edit it, then the Senate will need a 2/3 vote to enact the bill when it comes back to the floor again. So, are there any motions at this time?
Are we trying to decide if, so the president vetoed, are we trying to decide if we want to undo her veto or?
Alright, so this is what you can do. The Senate, once the president vetoes it, to enact or override the veto, you'll need a 2/3 vote. But the reason she vetoed it was because there was a lot of spelling and grammatical errors within the bill, and she wants you guys to table this bill back to committee or the sponsors to change the wording, then bring it back to Senate to then vote on it to enact it.
Got it. Alright.
Are there any motions at this time? Yes, Senator Boston.
Mr. Speaker, I move to table this bill back to committee.
There's a motion on the floor to table this bill back to committee. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is opposition, I will now have to take a rising hand vote. All in favor of tabling this bill back to committee, please raise your hands high. All opposed? The ayes have it. This bill will now be tabled back to committee. Moving on to our next order of business, we have resolution number 4, the Senate Expansion Bill. The reason this bill was vetoed, Rachel said, she chose to veto this bill because although she understands the arguments behind increasing Senate membership, she does not agree.
3 from Senate? Is there a reason behind the numbers?
You guys wanted a set limit, so I picked 2 from exec, 2 from the judicial board, and 3 from Senate.
Can I friendly amendment to 2 from Senate as my senator to my right was telling me, if it's not going to count as an additional committee and we're adding more responsibilities on top of ourselves, let's just limit it to 2 individuals.
Just a quick point of information, the reason I chose 3, the Senate is a larger body in this organization, so they do need more opinion than the judicial board and the executive board. That's why there are 3.
But everything will be presented back to the Senate before anything is changed, so we'll have our opportunity for opinion there.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to change number 3 in front of Senate to 2. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is opposition, I will now take a rising hand vote. All in favor of changing the number from 3 to 2, please raise your hands high. All opposed? Nays have it. That motion dies. Is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Brosco.
Mr. Speaker, I move to vote.
This is on first reading status.
Just kidding, I move to put it to second reading status.
There's a motion on the floor to move this bill to second reading status. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is no opposition, this bill will now be moved to second reading status. Moving on to our next order of business, we have Senate Bill number 12, the Elections Commission. Will the chief sponsors of that bill please come forward?
Hey guys, so basically, this is just a bill to, reform, I guess, the election commission board.
You can go around the top.
Okay, so basically, we want to make sure every branch is included in the election commission board. So we are going to have 1 person from the judicial board who will serve as the elections commissioner. We will have 2 people from the executive board that will be chosen by the president and 2 people from the legislative branch that will be chosen by the speaker of the Senate.
Are there any questions for the chief sponsor? Yes, Senator Washington.
How will the judicial board choose a member?
I'm guessing it was just discussion and meeting.
Yeah, because you're not gonna know.
Yeah, you're not going to know who the election commissioner is.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense for us to put in the bill that the chief justice would choose who it would be, if that makes sense, because then
Can I speak?
I thought we had to be honest. I'm just-
Okay, but, so no, the chairman of the commission is known, but the rest of the members on the election commission is unknown. So you would know who the judicial board appointed, but you wouldn't know who the e-board, as well as, what Jordan appoints from the Senate. Does that make sense? Okay.
Are there any more questions for the chief sponsor? Since there are no more questions, is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Oybu.
I move to move this bill to second reading status.
There's a motion on the floor to move this bill to second reading status. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is no opposition, this bill will now be moved to second reading status. Moving on to our next order of business, we have resolution number 5, the executive resolution for senior in office.
Who's excited?
I'm so
Okay, so, I don't know if anybody else has read my resolution. Who read it? Raise your hand. You guys? What does it say? Second paragraph, third word. Just kidding. So, as the resolution says, last year, oh so long ago, back in April, our previous SGA president, Christopher Indiritu, and a small team of SGA members went to Mitchell's, Virginia. Who knows where that is? They missed a whole incident and everything. That's what it really does. But they went and picked out a rock. And it's been on this campus for almost a year now. I know, where is it, right?
but it's gonna be painted, so now you'll know. I have named it Dominion Rock. So it will now be a landmark on campus. It is in between the chemistry building and the new engineering building that's across from Perry Library. Don't worry, because right after Senate, we're going to paint the base coat, so everyone will know where it is by the end of the day. Also excited about that. So this is just a little background information about the Rock, also establishing a new ODU tradition. So what I wanted Dominion Rock to be is the tradition of all traditions. Every Monarch's tradition, you can make it your own tradition, whether it be every year before graduation, you sit on the rock, or I don't know, y'all gonna make it up. But every organization, every student group, every group of friends will have their own tradition that is around that rock. So maybe Kappa Gamma, which is my chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, if you didn't know. Maybe every year on Founders Day, we go and paint the rock. Beautiful salmon pink and apple green, and we take all kinds of pictures. You get where I'm going with this? So you guys are going to create your own traditions and report them back to me later? Awesome, can't wait. So yeah, does anybody have any questions about the resolution, about the rock? Yes. Yes, Vanessa.
Can we change the name of the rock to Monarch Rock instead of the medium?
Yes, Vanessa. You come for it. That's so
like the electricity company, even though we're like only.
Yo, she is speaking the truth.
You guys can do whatever you want.
Yes, Vanessa. You like it? Oh my God. I really like it.
Are there any more questions for Rachel? Yes.
When will we exactly present this to the
Good question. Madam Chief of Staff, do you mind scrolling up? I believe I put it in the bill. A resolution?
Yeah.
Yes. So this Thursday during the involvement fair, we're going to be painting the actual. So we're going to paint the base coat tonight, so it'll be dry by Thursday, and then we're going to be painting words. So me and Jada are working on the. Jada's not even there. We're going to work on the design for it, but it'll be a nice way to unveil it, and then we'll invite students as they're going around during the involvement fair, come and add your paw print to the rock or something. Still ironing out those details, but we'll invite students to be a part of it. Take a bunch of pictures. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to be in the newspaper and everything, guys. Any other questions? Yes.
So you said how like any org could just paint over the rock?
Correct. Brandy, did you hand out?
Yeah, everybody
Okay.
got one.
So you guys should all have the guidelines on the rock that does explain that. So it is open to be painted at any time. You cannot, if you paint it tonight, if we go out and paint it tonight, I'm gonna be really upset. But someone else can come tomorrow and paint right over it. That's the rules. It's free for all. Yes.
So like I just, cause me and Bernard were just saying like, I feel like maybe some conflict might come up with that. Because for example, like, a lot of the Greeks, their Founders Day was in January. So like, let's say y'all go paint the rock, and then the Zetas go paint the rock over. I felt like it'd be
However, and this was a conversation that was had in 85th session, so I may not have all the information correctly, but it was agreed upon with all the higher ups and all the important people that if we got this rock, it was completely free, free reign, free speech, and if somebody says something crazy, you see SJ is responsible for painting over it or correcting it or whatever happens after that. So I get it, totally understand. We've had the Founders Day discussion, but that is the agreement that we came to in regards to the rock. Any other questions?
Are there?
Oh, it was answered already. Just real quick, which I think is a great question. When we started looking at the rock, we researched what other schools did in terms of best practices, and we found that schools weren't reserving the rock, that they were just letting this free-for-all happen. Because what happens if, so AKA paints it, and then someone else goes and paints it, then AKA is upset, but the other group, what are we going to tell them? They have to go back and paint it, AKA pink and green. There was no way, to really regulate it. So it is a free speech rock. And so, like, for my undergrad, for example, so we had a wall. So, I'm not telling you this is how you would do it, but we would wait, or people that I knew, not necessarily me, till they painted it, and then it would dry, and then we would just go back over it. which is great. Not very nice. But the message was the last one on it. Some of that's going to happen. Just with the way the rock works. But then they may go back the next day and paint it again. So it builds up like that. The one thing I do want to just caution all of us on, if we walk by the rock and it has something that is completely offensive, it has a design or something that people are really offended, as SGA, we have to help monitor that and go and just paint it really quick white. So there will always be, or whatever color paint we have in the office. So when you walk by the rock, go and check it out, it's going to be really cool. But if you check it out and see something that this may not be appropriate or it's hateful, let Rachel know, let myself know, let any of the advisors know, and we may all have to run at some point and paint it really fast, because we don't want to lose the rock. That's part of it, is that it gets off to a really bad start, and people start writing awful, nasty things. The administration is like, why are we having this on our campus, and people walk by and it doesn't portray us in a positive impression.
Yes. To that note, there has been plenty of paint ordered. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it's a lot. It's been in my trunk since September. So please call me as soon as you see anything crazy. It is all of our responsibility to keep our campus happy, healthy, and crime-free. So, questions?
Paint for other organizations, they're not on their own, but they're supposed to get the paint if they want to paint it first.
Yes.
I understand the whole covering up if we find anything offensive or appropriate, but what draws the line? Like, for example, if somebody used the F word, we understand that's unacceptable, but if somebody wrote vote Trump, that's going to cause a ruckus. So how do we...
That is completely...
So we're going to be okay with the vote Trump as freedom of speech. But how does we draw the line?
Profanity and vulgarity is not.
Okay, so the clear cut, what is offensive, not the stagnant.
Right, but you may say, as a student, I didn't like vote Trump, so I can go paint it myself. But if we walk by and there's a swastika, as hateful as that is, I'll use that as an example.
That was my question.
You understand?
We need to go paint that, right? If there's someone that says pro-life, well then the pro-choice students could also paint, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
So free speech is, we're going to be, that's part of the beauty of the rock, that's part of the challenge of the rock, is that we all appreciate free speech when we are okay with it, but if it's free speech that we don't necessarily personally agree with, then it's hard to navigate hard. So it doesn't stop anyone from, if you walk by and see something on the rock that you find offensive, doesn't mean that you as a student, and that's why it's open to students and organizations, could go and take it off. And that we had some of that with chalking. Before the election, there were some students that chalked, and some students didn't like it, so they chalked over it or washed it off. So that happens too. But the free speech is going to be we're in a world of free speech right now, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. But we all appreciate that.
Another question?
All right. I'm just a little confused because some places it says Dominion Rock and some places it says Pride Rock.
Yeah.
Where are we
The
going?
name of the rock is Dominion Rock.
Okay.
But it serves as a rock to show pride, so it is our pride rock.
The type.
We can change that if y'all don't like it.
Monarch Rock's
I'll
really
give it.
nice. You have no will to can't please everybody. I'm fine. I have no chill, but it's okay. I really don't care. The Department of
Anybody
off
else?
campus because it's open
Okay, I'm
now.
gonna leave so that Jordan can ask about
Like 2017. I will make the money to stay for trip off.
Todd has a question, everyone.
I just wanted to know, like, is there like a system in place for like homecoming? Is it going to be like a competitive thing? Who gets it first, or is it going to be strictly
Just when we get there.
That would be,
We can make the tradition.
Not in the guidelines. It's everyone's rock. So if homecoming decides they would like to make that into one of their traditions, that's a homecoming tradition. Just like a Catholic Campus tradition, just like an SGA tradition. Everybody makes their own.
Like a money, like who pays the best stuff during homecoming? You could do like a money raise.
Are there any other motions? Are there any motions at this time? Yes, Senator Lowe.
That would raise money. Yeah, but it's not.
Yes, Senator Lowe.
I move fast track this bill.
There's a motion on the floor to fast track this bill. Is there a second? Is there any opposition? Since there is opposition, I will now take a rising hand vote. All in favor of fast tracking this bill, please raise your hands high. All opposed, please raise your hands high. The yeas have it, this bill will now be passed. Moving on to our next order of business, we have our President and Vice President's report. Madam President.
That's me. I was gonna sit down. Okay, so I'll read that. So since the last meeting, since we last met last week, this is a little bit about what I've done. This is how my reports are gonna go this semester in case anybody didn't catch that theme. So I had a meeting with Dr. Neufeld. We got an update on the bus shelters. I've been talking with Mr. Harnage, and he is very proud of our progress with the bus shelters, so that is on our list of things to do. As you know, we have a lot of construction going on this campus, so it's been added to the list. We have obviously officially got the okay to unveil the Pride Rock, and we have expressed our concerns about the den. So Dr. Neufeld proposed the idea that Jessica and I, for our next meeting with her, we will be having our meeting in the den. So we'll see how that goes.
Bring some good standing shoes.
I know. So please forward all emails and concerns about the den to me. Okay. VLA team meeting, that was last week. Madam Chief of Staff, would you please bring up the VLA website? I have been hard at work on this website. So I'm very proud. It's still, kind of a work in progress. But we are well ahead of the planning and getting ready to have all the different colleges and universities join us in May for a leadership academy. So if you're interested in helping plan or helping to put on the Virginia Leadership Academy in May, please let me or Bernard know, as we are the chairs of the VLA planning committee. We also had a C Student Leadership Council meeting last week where actually the same visitor who visited us last week visited SSLC. So we talked to off-campus life and gave her some recommendations for what actually myself as an off-campus student would like to see come out of that office. There was a meeting about the National Museum of African American History and Culture. As you know, OIR is taking a group of students out there. I'm sure Mia will be reporting on this as well, but there are still 2 seats open for SGA to go. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. She's going to reiterate that again. And the last thing I've done since we last met is obviously the Pride Rock. Been planning on that, trying to get a plaque that says Dominion Rock in front of it, and so on and so forth. And I have a quote of the day, guys. You thought I forgot. I remember this time. So here we go. Losing is unacceptable. Passion is unquenchable. Quitting is unthinkable. Commitment is unquestionable. And victory is inevitable.
Next, we'll have our Vice President.
Hey guys, we have the retreat this weekend. We're leaving Friday at 2 p.m. in the VIP lot. Have come packed and ready to go at 2 p.m. We're leaving at 2 p.m. so you better be there by 1:50. If you can't be there by 1:50, you need to talk to me. We'll be getting back on Sunday, and if you haven't paid your $25, you owe Greg or myself that, and you need to do your travel waiver if you haven't done that yet. The other thing is I web counsel Thursday, so if anybody has any suggestions, complaints, concerns about the web, how we can make student life better, please let me know. And Travis contacted me about the Virginia 21 Late Night Lobby Day, and that's January 31st to February 1st. We have 2 seats open, and we do need someone to drive, so if you want more information on that, please come contact me.
Moving on to our next order of business, we have our treasurer's report.
What's up, everybody? Can you just go to slide 3 for me, please? Slide 3. Yeah, no. All right. So we just gave out our 7th co-sponsorship to MCAT Alpha for their annual event dating game. This event is held North Tap on February 8th at 7 p.m. They requested $451.28 to go towards pizza and food for anybody that comes in attendance. All the proceeds that they're collecting is going towards their philanthropy in their food bank, Southeastern Virginia food bank. We are currently sitting at $6,908.73 in our co-sponsorship pot for the rest of the semester, so that's great. And since I kind of messed up last semester on doing this, I would like to get a rising hand vote on who could attend. I'm personally going to attend, so that's one person. I just need another person to go to this event.
What's the date? Wait, what's
Oh, yeah, February 8th, 7
This is
p.m.
Sunday? Yeah, this is Sunday, I think.
That's it.
I just go because I think
It's a Wednesday.
I think it's like, you look good.
7 p.m.
So Wednesday.
See one person.
Remember, y'all gotta do 2 events per month.
Just say it like that.
Per month.
It's the land of college.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do this. So don't
I got you. Who can find a date
Okay,
for
all right,
Valentine's
there we go. Thank you, Joey.
So you can find you an accent.
And then can you go to the next slide, please? So as of today, we have spent a total of $32,704.39. This is from a variety of different purchases, such as the Pride nomination gifts that we give out every month, travel expenses for retreats and conferences, like our SGA retreat we're having this weekend that Jessica and Greg have been working their butt off for. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also for GA Day, which is right around the corner, that Mia and a couple members of the exec board have been working on. Also, a boatload of catering requests that I'm still getting emails for. And test materials such as the blue and green Scantrons that Justin has came up with to help out all of us because we're all broke. And at last, office supplies for obviously the office. That's pretty much it.
Moving on to our next order of business, we have our advisors report. Greg?
Hello, everybody. I just want everybody to get rowdied up and excited for our retreat that we have coming up. It's going to be very exciting. And just like Jessica said, if you haven't paid your money or some travel form, please do so as soon as possible. And also, if anybody has a cooler and would be willing to, help volunteer the cooler so we can store it up with our food, feel free to let me know if you'll be able to volunteer the cooler. Thank you.
Not everybody has a cool.
See y'all this weekend.
Short and sweet.
So the rock that Rachel talked about, I was going through some past SGA notes, and in 2010 they actually started talking about the rock. So, and the reason I share that with you is that sometimes we talk about things and it doesn't necessarily happen when you're here. So like the bus shelter. We may or may not have the bus shelters built by the summer, but maybe next year. So even though you don't always see everything, it's important to know that you still are getting things in line. Football, the students that voted for football never got to experience football, they graduated. The students that voted for the Spirit Rock, other than the ones that picked it out last year and got more excited about it, never got to experience the Spirit Rock. So I think that's important to think that some things we can do right away, like we can get turkey bacon in the den, which I know is a Taj question about that, which I like that as well. But we, in terms of building a new residence hall, that's not going to open until 2019. So those types of things. So just keeping in mind that sometimes things don't move as quick as you want. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't try and get them on the administration's agenda. That knows it's going to help future monarchs as well. So that's kind of the rock. How many of you have skied before?
That's a no for me, though.
How many of you that are going have never skied? Great. So,
wow.
Make sure to bring lots of warm clothes because it's cold, and even if we don't have snow, wintergreen has man-made snow, and man-made snow generally is a little harder. So when you fall, make sure you have lots of cushions so that you don't get okay?
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, ours is great. And then we all will also be experiencing the joy of cooking together.
Not cornbread. You gonna have me on cleanup on duty? No, I can make some bomb mac and cheese.
All right, moving on to our next order of business, we have our Senate committee reports. I do have one quick thing. All senators, I hope you do know that in my email that I sent out Sunday, I did say that open caucus started at 2:45, but mandatory facilitated caucus started at 3 o'clock. And I just want to let you know that I will start issuing citations for those of you that do start walking in late, because we do need to be accountable. You all did sign up for this job. That means you do have to fulfill every requirement of the job. So moving on to our first director, we have our Director of Finance, Ms. Rakia Hack.
I just wanted to let y'all know, remember to sign up for budget consultations. Thank you.
Then we'll have our Director of Wellness and Sustainability, Ms. Brittany Allens.
Hey guys, just a reminder, we have a committee meeting tomorrow at 4:20. We're going to be discussing some things that are on approved ODU and some other things. Also, make sure that you guys are voting. A lot of you guys was not raising your hands at all, and a lot of things didn't even get a chance. This is like one person raised their hand just to let something pass. Like, this is just unacceptable. Like Jordan said, you all have a position, you all have a job, so you should be exercising your votes. So that is all.
Next, our Director of Off-Campus Life, Ms. Courtney Cunningham.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? That was so wet. How is everybody doing today? Awesome sauce. I'm glad everybody's alive, breathing well. So 2 things are going to be going around. The bright pink paper, you want to leave it? Okay, there you go. So the bright pink paper is the trip that we're going to be taking to either Tri-Cities or Peninsula, and it's next Wednesday. We are leaving at 5 or 5:30. Transportation will be provided. Please let me know if you want to come. Preferably just write your name, your email, and your phone, because if you tell me, I'm going to forget. I did have some people email me, so I already have some people going, and then most of my committee. But please let me know if you want to attend for that as well. And you will be in an awesome video made by yours truly. And then the light pink paper is for Knock and Talks. The first one is tomorrow for the entire semester. We're going to be partnering with ODU PD, and they are in the morning, so it's kind of like an inconvenient time, but they're Wednesdays from like 10 to 12, and surprisingly, I can make it. But if you can make it, write your name down. If you can't, I understand, because people have class and like it's a Wednesday morning, and then just get the papers back to me, and then the pen as well. Have a great day.
Those of you with 420 classes are now free to leave. Next, we have our Director of Safety and Transportation, Ms. Michelle Mondre.
Put this to my committee chair.
Hey guys, okay, there are a lot of things going on in safety and transportation. So first, we are gonna have bike removal. It's gonna be February 7th after Senate, 5 p.m. So bring a change of clothes, because you'll do that. Okay, thanks. Bike-a-thon. We are really excited about Bike-a-thon. It's going to be a really big event. It's going to be April 6th during Activity Hour. And we are going to be launching things like free U-locks and free bike lights. And also, in case you guys didn't know, which you probably don't, the Outdoor Adventure Center has this really cool fixing station where if you like have a flat tire or something goes wrong with your bike, you can take it there for free and they will fix it. So that's really cool. Also, the blue lights, we had talked in here not too long about blue lights not being in certain places. Our committee is working on specific locations. One would be between the new education building and the library. And there are a couple of others that are still in the works, so we'll let you know updates on that. Also, I just want to encourage you guys to go to Knock and Talks. They're very cool. I've been to one myself. It's a good chance to like get to know other ODU students and like hear their concerns. We can bring it back to student government and kind of like lobby for them, because not everybody can make it to Senate. We are coming up with an idea. It's going to be called a Smart Bags, I believe. It's going to be things like cups and trash bags and things like that to give to people who are having parties, just for safety, cleanliness concerns, things like that. And also, I just want to reiterate what President Evans was talking about the loop shelters. That is with the administration now. Your support would definitely be, if you have any ideas, things like that, please let us know. We're still taking them. Thanks.
Next, we'll have our Director of Legislative Affairs and Diversity, Ms. Mia Turner.
All right, guys. So, like Rachel had said earlier, it's one spot, not two, but it's okay. It's just one spot that's still open for the field trip to DC. So, if you are interested in going, there's a sign-up sheet in the back so that you can just go ahead and put your name down, and then I'll email you by tonight if I pick you out of a hat, because that's how I did it last time, and I'll do it again that way as well. Basically, GA Day, this is the shirt that Courtney was so kind as to order and design herself. So these shirts will be able to give to you guys on the day of the trip. Again, I extended the trip link on OrgSync to this Thursday, and it actually helped a lot because now we're almost at 30 people, which is really good for last minute. So I do encourage you all to go because I think it would be a really fun event. There's a lot of stuff that will be talked about when we go there because there's a lot of stuff happening right now across the country. So I think it'll be really interesting, and you'll be able to learn new things as well. And plus you'll be able to try to fight back that 5% cut that ODU is facing, which is very important because I know y'all don't want that tuition to go up. So yeah, that's it. Go sign up, tell friends and your organizations. Thank you.
Next, we'll have our Director of Public Relations and Recruitment, Ms. Jada Moss-Barber, who is not here, so we will have our committee chair, Mr. Lamont Washington.
Hello, everyone. So, two things. The first is our committee meeting times have changed. Now they are 12:30 to 1 o'clock. They'll be in the office every week, so we'll email you if you have any questions. This going around is the sign-up sheet for Thursday. A lot is going on. We have the Monarch Rock. No, what is it? The Minion Rock.
I don't know. Tried it.
All right, okay. We have the Involvement Fair table. We have our Involvement Fair mobile team. These are the people who are going to be walking around talking to people. And then we have our open house. This is just going to be people can come and walk around, kind of see what we do. We don't need a whole lot of people for that one, but it's going to be nice to have a few senators, two exec members, two senators. Please also put your t-shirt size next to your name. We're going to be rocking our new blue Pride shirts that we got in, and so that's going to be really good. Also, I'm forgetting something. I know I am, but if you're not working with another organization, please show up. We need all hands on deck. This is a big day, and it's literally for an hour. Thank you.
Just a point of information, I want to make this event mandatory for all senators because this is a very big event for us. So, with that being said, the sheet that's going around, I encourage you all to sign up. Moving on, next we'll have our Director of Student Life, Mr. Joseph Lovell.
So I'm gonna kind of go off what he said. I don't think you guys always know how much work is put into these events. Mia, having all of that come together for GA Day. It's just a lot of work. And you take something like the retreat. I've seen Jessica tear her hair out 3 times. So make sure you're attending this stuff. It's kind of your duty as a senator, as senators, and it's kind of respectful. It kind of sucks when you put a huge event together and no one shows up. So just keep that in mind. And then update from Student Life. My committee meetings are now from 5 to 6, so if you can make it, come on.
Next we'll have our Director of Administrative Affairs, Mr. Justin McClellan.
Hi, everybody. So first things first, we experienced a dear loss on the committee. Professor Young will be moving on to bigger and better things. So there is an opening in the chairship for that committee. So if you are interested, please get in contact with Speaker Jordan and myself. Big things in terms of all the data from fall exam materials has been compiled and will be put together in a proposal along with alternative options for sourcing exam materials, at least for the time being within SGA, cutting our expenses in half, which is really cool. And then the libraries will be working with us on Open Education Resource Week in March. So continuing the affordable course content initiatives that we've been working on. So thank you.
Next we'll have our Chief Justice, Mr. Taji Blackman.
I'm actually going to be yielding it to Associate Justice Aaron.
Great, thank you. No update to give yet, but we're doing some things, we're working some things. I just have a little thing to say. We've had some senators that went on Improve ODU for a while ago, and I think it's really good that senators have been taking initiative, but someone said something that may have been considered discouraging. It wasn't too bad. I'd like to just have them know, just keep you up to, that our job is to listen and never discourage. And if I would suggest to provide someone, if you don't really know what to say, just provide someone with directions to the proper channel so that they can make these things change. Like I said, it wasn't that big of a deal, so I just wanted to bring it to attention. Thanks.
Next we'll have our secretary, Mr. Jamerson Hanlon.
So, so the calendar is being updated, or still being updated. So like, I was saying last time, we will have like color-coded sections for each committee. So as you can see, on Mondays at, well, I guess from 5 to 6 now, it'll be the Student Life Committee. So different events like that will be color-coded by the committees. Yeah. But as you can see, we have GA Day on the, you can't see that. Yeah, so we have GA Day on the second, on the Thursday. We also have Rafia's things. Or they may be. Just a second. It's on the. So we have like a budget submission deadline in February, so that will be on the 10th. So like different events like that will be on the calendar once Courtney send me or share the link for Knock and Talks and other thing. Oh, the Satellite Campuses, that will be up there too. But I mean, that's basically it. So co-sponsorships will be on the bulletin board in the office. And then I think we're sending sign-up sheets. Like that's why they've been sending sign-up sheets, because instead of doing I volunteer, we've moved to doing paper, so we can track senators who's actually signing up and who's not, and who's going to attend events and can't. That's basically it. So, any questions? Now y'all good? All right. Be great.
Next we'll have our Chief of Staff, Ms. Eris Harrison.
So I just want to announce that we'll be doing a welcome orientation for new senators. So after the Senate meeting, when they get inducted, just stay back for some time, just to get to know the senators, get to know their names, so they won't be confusion of who's in the senator, and you not know.
Next we'll have our Speaker Pro Tem Board, Ms. Brandy Campbell.
Hello, everybody. So, prospective senators, if you haven't already signed in, make sure you do. And then also legislation. Okay, sorry, I printed like 10 of everything today, trying to save paper, but that's clearly not enough. So I'll print like 11 this yeah, I'll increase it just a little bit, but we are gonna probably have to share at least with 2 to 3 people. Are kind of selfish, you don't want to share, just print your own, but I really just want to cut back on paper, especially if an amendment is made to that, we have to toss it in for a new one. So just trying to save the environment or whatever. And then I know someone mentioned a reserve seat handbook in the amendments, but they have to have something to do still. So make sure there's some bylaws to support whatever they're putting in that handbook. And I'll see you this weekend at the exchange.
Moving on to our next order of business, we have our public comments and announcements. Yes, Director McCall.
So there's a show opening this weekend. I'm only going to tell you the one time that doesn't conflict with SGA stuff. A Paradigm Obscura, which is scenes from the theater. The performance that you guys don't have a conflict for is Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. at the University Theater. $15 at the door, and you'll get to see yours truly on stage. Some French absurdism. So please come out. If you want to come, you can't afford the 15, just let me know and I'll work my magic. So.
Are there any other public comments and announcements? Yes, Senator Hinton.
Just a reminder, First Ladies is having the more in-depth preview First Generation on February 1st in the library conference room. If there's any department or section of university life that you do not feel has been added into that, please see me after the meeting and I can try and have a representative come and speak about it.
Are there any other public comments and announcements? Yes, Senator Garber.
Well, tonight in the Chesapeake Room, the African Student Association will be having our model tryout for our annual cultural show. So all are welcome to try out. And then this Thursday, we are also having a speed dating event with our schools, NAACP, SWL, BSA, CSA, the Qs and Kappas, and tickets are $2, and all of the proceeds go to the Men's Salvation Army.
Senator Pitts.
Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Okay, so the New Theta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha will be having a event on January 30th, which is titled The Nasty Truth. It's a series of different events that the chapter has that of like they've done like mental illness and like domestic violence and things like that. So if you guys are interested, to go ahead and go out to that. Also, our council will be having an informational Thursday, January 26th at 6 p.m. for the yearly Battle of the Halls. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but it's just basically like everybody that lives in dorms and like off campus, they can get together and the MPAC teaches them how to step, and it's like a show later on in the semester. So there's informational for that. And then we're also having a Trolley Drive from the 23rd until February 6th. The bins are located in the House of Blue. And we also have, well, it's not anytime soon, but we're having an MPHC week coming up soon, so you guys just keep your eyes open for those. I'll announce those next week once we get everything set in stone as to what's everything's going to happen. So, yeah.
Senator
One more thing, sorry. Where I work for my internship is called Security 101, and every year they have a security event where they donate a free security system, including cameras and a free lesson on security for your nonprofit or charity. Recently, the 3 finalists were just selected, and it is the YWCA of Southampton Roads, Habitat for Humanity of the Hampton Roads area, as well as the Salvation Army Hope Village, I want to say. And the voting is now open, so if you would like to vote on your favorite nonprofit to win the security system, it really does help because everything is free. The security system, the installation, any access software that they would need to use it, and they don't have to pay the monthly fee or anything like that. So it's for a good cause.
Director Turner.
Okay, so my study abroad organization that I founded last semester is having our first general meeting tomorrow in the James River Room from 4 to 5. So if you guys are interested in studying abroad or have the idea of or are too scared to or have any type of questions on how to do it, where to get the money, all the different types, you guys can go ahead and come to the meeting and we'll help you out with everything and we'll direct you to the right person. And that's it.
Are there any other public comments and announcements? I do have one. Since we did fast track the executive resolution, upon adjournment, I will ask you all to please stand up and then be reseated so we can start our special session. Now, I'll briefly read over the agenda. Today we had the adoption of the agenda, followed by the adoption of the previous minutes. Today we had quorum at 18. For new business, we had Senate Bill number 8, the reserve seat bylaw amendment, which was moved to second reading status. Then we had Senate Bill number 11, the Internal Affairs Ad Hoc Committee, which was moved to second reading status. Then we had Senate Bill number 12, the Elections Commission, which was moved to second reading status. Then we had resolution number 5, the executive resolution, Dominion Rock, which was fast track. Then we had our president and vice president's report, followed by our treasurer's report. Then we had our advisor's report, then our city committee reports, followed by public comments and announcements. Now, is there a motion for adjournment at this time? Yes, Senator Jacobs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Is there a second? Since there is a second, we are now adjourned. Will all please rise and the meeting be seated? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the special session of Old Dominion University's 86th session. Today, we have the adoption agenda, followed by quorum. Then we have our unfinished business, resolution number 5, the executive resolution, followed by adjournment. Is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Jacobs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we approve the agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Since there is a second, the agenda is now approved. Today, we have quorum at 18. Moving on to unfinished business, we have resolution number 5, the executive resolution, Dominion Rock.
I feel the need to make another statement. So I'll just express why I want the Rock to be named Dominion. Monarch is a very commonly used word on this campus. As you all know, we're all monarchs. However, Dominion. Should look up the definition.
Roll with it.
Yeah. The nickname of Virginia is the Old Dominion.
Correct.
The whole state is the Old Dominion.
Yeah, she's from Delaware and she knows I'm weak.
You're actually founded by the North.
Technically, we go to Virginia, University of Virginia. So, anyway, but I chose Dominion Rock because Dominion is not a word that is, I think, revered on this campus enough. So I thought that adding a little bit of pride into that word and putting that word on this rock would just bring something new to the campus. I don't hear Dominion a lot, but I know y'all gonna have a rebuttal, so let's go. Go ahead.
No, I just looked up the definition for you, and it is the sovereignty or control the territory of a sovereign or government.
Ooh.
Amen.
No rebuttal there.
I have a question about it. Does ODUPD know about it yet? Because I have found that organizations are going to go out like in the middle of the night and you don't want like ODUPD.
I mean, I would.
We do, yes. All interested parties know about the Rock. LSI, PD, Vice President's Office, President of the University, everybody's aware. So we have full clearance to go ahead and paint the Rock and give everybody free reign. That's why we've had to wait this long. Any other questions?
So is there no more questions? Is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Garber. There's a motion on the floor to vote. Is there a second? Since there is a second, is there any opposition? Since there is no opposition, I will now open the floor for voting. All in favor of this resolution, please raise your hands high. All opposed? The yeas have it. This resolution is now passed. I will now briefly read over the agenda. Today we had the adoption of the agenda. We had quorum 18. Resolution number 5 was passed. And now is there a motion at this time? Yes, Senator Hinton.
I move to adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Is there a second? Since there's a second, we are now adjourned.